everyone. I'm reconvening our meeting. And we did have a closed meeting, so we need to certify.
That's right. Do each of you certify that to the best of your knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered by the Board of Supervisors in the closed meeting? If you just...
Ms. Smith? Aye. Mr. Whitson?
Yeah, I confirm that.
Mr. Carney?
Aye.
And I also. All right, we're moving into the public hearings. First one is the Shoot Tourist Home.
Michelle will provide an introduction.
Thank you. Mrs. Shoup would like to utilize this property in the home as a tourist home. It's located at 416 Rizzo Mill Road. It's 16.4 acres in size and it's zoned agricultural. She plans to retire and move to this home in about 3 or 4 years. In the meantime, she would like to use the property as a short-term rental for 2 adults and possibly 1 to 2 children. This cabin is a 1-bedroom home and will not be rented to any large parties. Mrs. Shoup currently resides in Culpeper, about 20 minutes away, and will check or stay at the property on a regular basis. The health department commented that the existing dwelling is approved for a 1-bedroom. VDOT had no objections. The Planning Commission held their public hearing on this application July 19th, in which they recommended approval of the application with the following conditions with by a vote of 6-0. A maximum of 2 adult guests and 2 children, no food service to be offered to the renters of the facility, and that the permit terminates upon sale or transfer of the property. The applicant is present here at the meeting tonight.
So Ms. Shoup is here if you wanted to add anything to that for the benefit of the board.
No, everything was accurate except I now reside in Haymarket and but I still come up regularly.
I guess my question, you went through the planning commission process and Ms. Summers just listed a few conditions. Are any of those conditions things that you cannot live with? Or
No, I had the water tested, I did everything.
Okay. And would you repeat, because you speak very fast?
I try to guess so.
I did put them on the screen
okay.
for you as well.
I see it, I got it, you don't, okay, so pretty standard.
Yep.
Okay, so you have no problem with any of those?
No.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I would just say, with your recent move, I would maybe consider adding, and I don't know what your situation is, and it's not any of my business, but I would maybe consider the addition of a condition that if you should move more than 30 minutes away from the property, that you would have an on-site management company or some
Yeah, I
sort of.
have a property management company that I've taken over this place.
Oh, so you're already doing that?
I have a contract.
I just wanted to make sure that's in place.
Now part of the reason I want to rent it is it's so far out that I'm afraid if I'm not there, somebody's going to move in.
Yeah.
It would be easy and no one would ever know they were there, so I would like to, so that it's being used and occupied until I can live there permanently.
But then a long-term rental doesn't allow you to slip out on the weekends that you
But I
want.
want to go there, I love it, I just am not financially, it's a work, and I can't commute, I can't, it's an hour each way, and I have to be at work, so I love it, I want to be there, I just need, trying to do this in the interim.
Thank you.
It would be the first time I heard of somebody moving in while people were out.
I mean, it's very isolated, and most, like a few things I've had delivered, and people are like, I never even knew there was a house here, because it's up on a hill and it's all wooded around, and there's big farms on either side, so my fear is to go there, and I'm by myself, and walk in and somebody's moved in.
All right. I'm going to open the public hearing on SE 23-06-02. And you can be seated. anyone at this time would like to speak to this specific special exception, please raise your hand and be recognized, and when you come up, give us your name and your district. Seeing no hands here, is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak on this special exception? Please raise your Zoom hand. Not seeing any Zoom hands. Close the public hearing and open it up to the board.
I would just say as a representative for the planning commission that the planning commission public hearing was very similar to the board's public hearing this evening, in that it is, as the applicant stated, a very isolated property, very private, low impact with only one bedroom. That's basically the traffic created, any traffic created would be similar to a family living there. It's not going to be a party house with only one bedroom. And, you know, we unanimously voted to recommend approval to the board level.
Do you want to make a motion?
I would just like to say real quick for the record, and I don't know if I heard Michelle say this, that we did properly advertise this public hearing pursuant to 15-2-2204. And you, of course, are enabled to provide an opportunity for the special exception that it would not normally be allowed because you place conditions on it. And you do that pursuant to your code 170, 47C, and 47G. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Well, so this is, it's been estimated to be on Van Carney. It's in my district. I know the property, my family friends of the folks that owned it for years before that. And so it's good to see that it's found a new loving home. And I see that there's 3 conditions on it, one of which is that the permit will terminate if you sell it or transfer the property. With that, I'm going to make a motion to approve SC 23-0602 with the conditions including maximum of 2 adult guests and 2 children. No food service will be offered to renters of this facility, and this permit terminates upon the sale or transfer of the property.
I'll second your motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Can somebody remind me how we got to the no food?
That's a VDH requirement.
Okay.
It's the preparation and sale. Yeah. That's the part of the thing.
All right. Now we're moving on, Michelle, to Rappahannock.
Thank you. The Riverdens wish to use their property and existing home as a tourist home as well. The property is located at 31 Peola Mills Road. It's 28.74 acres in size, and it is zoned agricultural. The health department commented that the septic system was repaired in 2021 and is approved for 4 bedrooms. Any issue involving encroachment of the repaired drain field into a neighbor's septic easement on this property has been satisfactorily resolved. VDOT had no objections to the request. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on this application on July 19th, in which they recommended approval with the following conditions by a vote of 6-0. A maximum of 8 guests, 4 bedrooms, no food service to be offered to the renters of the facility. The permit terminates upon sale or transfer of the property, but the permit can transfer to a family member of the trust without termination. And the applicants are present tonight here as well.
And like the last one, this was properly advertised, and it's not, the use is not normally allowed on this parcel because of zoning, but it is eligible for a special exception because you can place conditions that would align it with typical by right uses.
Would either of you like to add to that?
I don't want to reiterate what I said last time, but we've had this property in our family since 1908, since it was established, and we've been part of Rappahannock County for over 200 years. And we'd like to keep the house in our family and also use it, and so we would like the short-term rental.
Thanks. And any of these conditions that came out of the planning commission, I assume are acceptable to you?
Yes,
So they're not onerous?
not at all.
Okay. And I understand is having owned that property for as long as you have in your family's established history, that the final condition makes a lot of sense because there's a good chance it'll be transferred within your family.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
great.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I will open the public hearing for SC 23-06-04. Anyone wishing to speak, please be recognized and come up and give us your name and district. All right, there's no hands raised in the courtroom. Anyone on Zoom wishing to speak? Not seeing any hands, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing.
There ought to be a requirement that you have to speak. If you come, you have to speak.
I'll speak.
Don't be drawn in. Don't take the bait.
I'm a special ed teacher, I speak all day, but no one listens. Maybe by June they will.
Thank you for doing that work.
Yes. Any comments?
I think the public hearing at the planning commission for this application was similarly met, and I think it was on record as possibly being the shortest planning commission ever for that particular meeting. So, I mean, I'm happy to answer any questions that my fellow board members may have, but I would go ahead and make a motion for approval of this application with the conditions stipulated in the staff report, and including the change at the planning commission level that the sale limitation does not apply if it's sold to a benefactor, the trust, or a family member.
Okay, I'll second your motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
That was done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Good luck.
You okay?
I hope you feel better.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
God bless you all.
Sold now.
All right. At this point, I can open this up for public comment. Anyone wishing to speak, please be recognized and come on up. It's me.
I thought we were really.
You thought you were done with me?
I was just going to invoke some unknown rule that you can't speak twice in the same day. Good to see you.
May I speak briefly on signs again? Okay. After your discussion.
If you tell everybody who you are.
Oh, no. Diane Bruce, Berryville. Since I've already done that. After your discussion earlier today, a couple of thoughts came to my mind that I wanted to emphasize. I think all signs should comply with the size regulations. And basically, you have 32 square feet and 50 square feet, if I have read it correctly. So it seems to me if you have regulations, then all signs should comply with them. If that were to happen, that might resolve your issue with hay bales. Business signs. I sympathize with what you said about businesses, small businesses, and I believe the existing and proposed ordinance has provisions for signs for businesses, especially seasonal signs, things like that. Art, I think, is a large concern. It seems to me that it has been pretty much carved out of the entire ordinance, meaning it has no regulations. And that could be very complicated, I should think. And somebody asked me today, is a mural art or a sign if it has wording on it? Is it art or is it a sign? I don't know.
If I could interject, if it brings your attention, the person viewing whatever it is, if it brings your attention to a person, place, or a thing, it's a sign.
It's a sign, not art.
I think the current definition is different than the proposed definition.
And what, are you allowed to tell me what the proposed definition of art is?
Well, it's in the ordinance, of sign,
Oh,
right?
sign,
So,
okay.
it
So
can
art is
refer to a thing, but it can't be commercially based in the proposed
ordinance.
ordinance.
Okay. Someone also
Which
mentioned
may not
earlier.
be the final ordinance, I'm
Excuse
sorry,
me.
which might not be the final ordinance, just
I understand.
quick.
Yeah, okay, well, thanks for clarifying that for me. I also, I think someone spoke earlier today about creating a chart, and I think the report suggested that, the Berkeley report suggested that also, I think, where you might have categories of zoning, and then over here, here's what you can and can't do. Pretty much
Like our use,
like
the use table for permits.
Yeah,
Yeah, guidance.
something like that. Might make Gary and Michelle's job easier.
Yeah.
So that's really all I had to say about signs. I did want to make one separate comment, and I want to thank Ron for complimenting those of us who are kind of the eyes and ears of the community to help inform citizens as to what you may be considering or having to vote on. I think that those of us who do pay attention to what's on your agenda and spread the word may be doing a good service. I want to think that in the past, I've heard supervisors say, and perhaps even Ron say, he welcomes comments from the citizens and from his constituents. So thank you for your public comment of congratulations.
Thank you. Anyone else during public comment? Anyone on Zoom wishing to speak during public comment? All right, closing public comment.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?